Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today, finally, we are taking a look at Groove Rider 2 by JimAudio. It's a Groovebox, it's a DAW, it's so much more. Let's urge. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Jade and this is How to App on iOS, and I hope you're doing okay. So today is a big day. We've got a heap to get through and I don't want to dilly-dally. I'm definitely not going to get through all of the stuff in this amazing app today, but we're going to do our darndest to get through it. Firstly, I need to say to you, there is no manual at the moment from what I know. Right, so we're kind of flying blind here and just working out how all this stuff works until the manual is actually ready. And there's a lot to cover. It's a pretty massive app, and it has a pretty decent price tag on it, but not really when you compare things to, I don't know, there are some apps out there that are DAWs that cost you around $80, $50, $60. This thing's pretty fair, I think, in prices. So how are we going to do this today? We've got two shows lined up on today's live stream because Thomas Christ is currently away. There is no U-Rock today. So I'm going to try and get all this done in the next hour and a half. And then there's going to be a little break. I'll dump you over to the next show where I'll be taking a look at another app because I need to get this done. And that will be this Membrini Jazz Chorus Guitar Amp Simulator, which is pretty damn sweet as well. So we've got two shows back to back. I think there's a little 10-minute break and then we'll come back because I've had to shuffle stuff around because finally an app that I've been waiting, well, some apps that I've been waiting to come out for a few months have just been submitted to the App Store and I have to get a whole lot of shit ready, yeah? I can't tell you what they are, but they are bloody exciting stuff. There's a big selection of really cool apps coming, hopefully in the next 24 hours or 48 hours. Let's urge and say hello to folks who happen to be here. Leela's banging links today in replace of Thomas, so thank you so much for doing that, Leela. And she just finished her live stream that she does each and every week before this very show here on a Wednesday. If you're in the US or UK, it's Thursday morning here. Russ is in the house. Let's groove. We got also John Swanson's here. Ali's in the house. Chris Lane Sr. This thing's deep. This thing is an amazing app. It really is. Hello, Vincent. Hope you're doing well also. So let's dive in and talk about the price of this thing and tear the Band-Aid off because, you know, some people this will affect. And when I show you the price, be aware it's almost double in Australia because it's Australian money. Groove Rider 2 by JimAudio. This is the successor to the original Groove Rider, which was not as comprehensive as this. $34.99 for this. Now, it is a Groovebox. It is a DAW. It is both. It's even more. I don't know. It has elements of loopy in it as well. There's a whole lot of stuff going on in this thing. You can actually use this inside of other DAWs as an inter-app audio only, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. The beautiful thing about this is it hosts AUV3s and it is just really solid. I haven't had any crashes or any problems with it since using it, and it's just a gun. I think this is a really awesome app, and there's a reason why people are bugging out over it, saying it's definitely a winner. So we're going to kick this off, get in as fast as we can and try and cover everything in segments because it may be a little bit overwhelming for everyone. Cover by CQ, g'day to you. So this is a standalone app. You're not going to open this up in a DAW. It's down here. We're going to open it up. This is what you'll get the first time. In fact, let's close it down. Ooh, boom. Hear that? Let's close it down and show you the splash screen, what you will get when you first open it. Very nice little splash screen. And this is the first screen you will get when you open things up. Very familiar kind of look. Of course, you've got a keyboard down the bottom. Of course, you've got a transport up the top with your stop, play, and record. very familiar up the top with like where you would find presets, but this is where your patterns are stored. And we'll get into these individually. We have instruments, clips. So these are your sound instruments, clips, editing, your song mode. You've got buses here for sound and stuff like this. And you've got a mixer, right? So all the things you could want in a DAW or a Groovebox straight away off the cuff, they're all there for you. I'm going to kick off by opening a little project I made. I've decided to make this project in a song mode, which is kind of like the traditional DAW kind of thing. G'day, Philip. Hope you're doing well. I'm settling in very well in my home, and I hope you're doing very well yourself, my friend. So I'm going to open up this little project that I've made. We'll open it up. Give it a second because it's got a whole bunch of stuff in it. And we shall hit the play button. So before I kick it off, there are two modes with this. There are clip modes and a song mode. Clip and song mode. So this may seem familiar to you if you use something like GarageBand or Logic, anything with clips. So these are little clips that can, or even, what's that thing Lilo uses? I can't think of the name of it. I've got one of these in my hand, and I'll show you know, this thing, the Novation, this thing here. What is it called? A launch pad. There we go. So very launch paddy as well. So that's so clip-based stuff there. So you've got your clip-based stuff. Boom. And what else? What else? What else? And we've got our song mode. So song mode Asaurus. G'day, Jim Shannon. Hope you're doing well. All right, so I'm going to kick off, just play you this little project I made. It is in song mode, and then we're going to break things down as simply as I possibly can. Let's hit play and let's ooja. And there you go. So very quick little project there. Probably took me about, I don't know, 15 minutes just to throw it together. Not too complicated, but it's going to seem complicated for a lot of people to get all this down because it's a new DAW. It's a new day. It's a new life. Yeah, you know the rest. And I'm feeling good. So anytime you have to kind of learn an entire DAW is a little bit overwhelming, but, you know, thankfully most of these DAWs or groove boxes have very similar things that you know from heart. So I'm going to firstly jump over here. We're going to start off today with the patterns section up the top here. So to click on your patterns. Now your tracks, your songs, what you actually make, these things are called patterns. That's what they are. So they are called patterns, and within patterns are parts, and the parts make up the patterns. Makes sense, doesn't it? So when you click on this, you get this little box that drops down here, which has all of your pattern parameters. So think about it when you start up a new song and you want to set the standard for your song. You want to set like how much BPM we've got, the measures, how many bars in the song, if there's swing, the key, the scale. You can do all of that here, and you can see that over by the side. So we've got 120 BPM, you've got measures, So you can double hold down, is that what it is? Or you just click through them. So you can click back and forward through your measures, 4, 4, 2, 4. So you can pretty much do whatever you want here. You've got your bars as well. So you can choose your bars, your swing, you've got your C, so you can choose your key, and you've got a heap of course, scales, heaps of scales, plenty of scales, not the immense list you would maybe find in a crazy like Chemol K app, but enough, trust me. You're not going to get too upset with the scales that you have, and who knows, they'll probably add in the ability to create your own, because I'm sure there's going to be major updates as this continues to go on. Chord set we'll talk about a little bit later. So this is where you would set up your song, and once you've done that, you would hit save. Let's just get over to our factory bank here, and when you open up the program for the first time, this is what it normally looks like. As I said, you'll open up and it'll say default pattern up the top here. And you can find this default pattern in your bank. So you've got user banks and you've got factory banks. These are all factory tracks that have been made for you. This is the default bank. And if I hit play on this, it has something already in here. So this is your default pattern. If I click on this grind master one here and double tap on it, then we're going to load up this. You get the idea. Pretty easy to load patterns. You just tap on it and it'll give you the option to open. Whatever you tap on here, you'll see a little button appear, open, or you can just double tap and that will automatically open. Double tap and it will open the project for you. So not too hard. But I want to show you something really, really cool here while we're in this section here before we go anywhere further. If I open this one here called Poisoned, right? So we've already got this open and I hit play. Let's just turn it down. And I click on another one over here. Instead, it says load. So I'm going to click load. And all of a sudden you get these new options down here. Let me turn this down. So basically what this does, it allows you to crossfade into the next pattern. So let's keep this playing. And as soon as I hit start, it's going to count down and then crossfade from Parallax or Poisoned. We've got Poisoned selected. It's going to crossfade into Monster Beats. Let's do it. I'm going to hit start. Watch this. 3, 2, 1. And it just crossfades in. How cool is that? But wait, it gets even more exciting. This is rad. So I'm going to now, we're in Monster Beats at the moment. I'm going to click on Poisoned, hit load. But this time I'm going to hit mix A to mix B. And we're given this whole new page. This is crazy. If you have multiple programs, you can now crossfade between them easily as pie. As soon as I hit start, watch, it's going to start. And now I can crossfade like this. And I can crossfade back into the previous pattern. Hello, Princess LDG, and happy birthday to Princess LDG, everybody. How cool. I can crossfade, and now you'll notice these two tracks, they are in totally different BPMs. This one's in 80, and as I crossfade, it transfers up the top here to 106. You can change the volume, right? pretty rad stuff. You can change the volume of A and B. But it gets better because there's a little lock in the middle here. And if I unlock this, now I can speed up either to match. So now both are 106. And this is in real time, folks. Look here, not even any stuttering, nothing. That is wild. Or we could bring it down to in the middle. So they're both 93. Now the other one, our song has stopped now, so we'd have to do this again. So if we hit stop, come back over here. You got to remember that. So you want to put the thing on the loop as well before you go ahead and do this. How do I get out? I can't. Let me click off here. Here's a little cross. So let's just pick this upside down. And we'll crossfade one more time into like, into my song. Let's pick something that's actually, all right, so we're already off here. Mix A, mix B. We've got to hit start, remember. And once it's started, we're off. It's just wild. Let's lock it. And hit stop, and we're good to go. So already before you do anything, that crossfade is just wild. It really is a great feature. I didn't even know it was in there and just stumbled across it absolutely by accident. Rad stuff. So let's head back to our default pattern here. This is what you start with our default pattern. And the reason this is the kickoff for the default pattern is it allows you to firstly see a clip-based track we have here. Yeah, so a clip-based track and how all this kind of works. So as I said, these songs are called patterns, and within each of the patterns are parts, and you have 16 parts. And within each part, you can have 3 layers. What are layers? Layers are pretty much instruments. You can have 3 instruments blending together per part. 16 parts. How do you find these parts? Well, they can be found a couple of ways. So you see down here, we've got this little section that says part with an arrow, and I can flick through, and you'll notice the light on this pad is going across as I hit the little arrows. So part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And we can go back. There's another way I can get to parts as well, and that is just by tapping on one of these. As long as I have set trigger. These little buttons here are very, very important to pay attention to, right? So these are mute buttons, which can mute individual parts. We've got that do. And you can, once you're on the mute, you can come in here and mute these individual parts. So you can mute things multiple ways, yeah? We'll unmute all of these. Erase. Once you've got this selected, you can erase any kind of track immediately. All right, so you can erase tracks. Triggers, these show your parts. So when you are on trigger, this allows you to go through your parts like this. We've got a step sequencer in here. Now, I'm not going to really go into the step sequencer too much today because, as I said at the start of the show, there isn't a manual yet for this. And I've had to sit here for the last week and a bit, learning as much as I can without a manual. So there's that. And we're hoping the manual is very close. Please. Once you are on a track, just say, let's see, what have we got here? Let's choose this saw bass. Then across here we have keys. Once you're on keys, you can play these like you would. Let's find another one. We've got like a pad here. Keys. So you can play chords. What have I got here with this melody? Go back here. We've got an ARP. We've got Vox. We've got chords. So you see you can play just so you can see what's going on. I'm playing with my fingers. But if you tap on the keys another time, you'll get traditional keyboard. So you can tap between these, go back and forward, yeah, if you prefer. Plus, we also have next to that chords. Now, this will depend on the scale you have chosen up here. Yes, when you have set your pattern for set your pattern up. We've got like E minor 5, F, G minor, A. And we've got jump. So we're just covering this section down here, yeah? So just this section here. We're not going to go too much into jump today because there's so much to get through. But trust me, this app will be a reoccurring thing on the channel. Hi, Urban. Have I missed anyone? Justine, what's going on, folks? We've got Justine coming on the show tomorrow. Very exciting stuff. Again, we can move through our parts over here. Move through our parts. And these are all our sections. So mute, erase, trigger. You can choose your parts through the trigger. Here's some drums. You'll notice when you're on a drum track, the drum pads change to drums, yeah? So it's only drums over here. Give that a bit of volume. Nice. Now, I hear you asking, can I connect my MIDI keyboard to this? Well, yes, of course you can. Do I have mine? Let's just go up here to the settings in the top corner. And not too hard of settings. Nice big buttons here. So you've got general, audio, MIDI is where you're going to want to go. So you want to connect your Arturia key step. And you can see mine's already selected here. So this is where you'd go to select your keyboard to connect it. And we should be good now. If I come back over to my keyboard. Sweet. Easy peasy to connect. Again, even if we change our part over here to, where are we? Trigger. Let's come over here. This is the thing you got to remember, right? Now you notice what I'm doing there? So I hit trigger, and as I'm playing these notes, I'm moving through the parts because my keyboard is connected, so it's playing through each of the parts. So we choose bass, and remember to connect to your keyboard. Of course, you'll notice things change with each kind of instrument that you have connected. So for example, we are on a bass here, and you can change the octaves and move your keyboard up and down. You can drag the keyboard around up here and make it nice and easy to move around there. If you want to get rid of the keyboard, over to the side here, you can drop down with this little arrow and totally make it disappear, and it gives you this little smaller version of the octave and which part you're on. You can bring it back. But what it does do is it opens up some effects for you, and we'll cover these shortly. Let's just go back to normal screen now. So that's a quick overview of this bottom section down here. So let's get into instruments and creating instruments, and so parts and layers. And we'll talk about these now. So to start off, we'll go back here, select our default pattern. So this is what you will always start with when you load up the program. But we want to start with a clean slate. Yeah, we want to start fresh. We want to make sure there's no clips in here and no song stuff. We want to start off fresh. So you open up your pattern section, and you're going to click New. And you'll get this little pop-up, G'day Dell, that says, a blank init pattern will be created. Any unsaved changes will be lost. Are you sure? Yes, please. So here we are in a brand new clean setup, and it has the words init up the top. My suggestion is the best thing you can do is go up here, and once you've opened a new patch, you'll notice we're moved up here to our default user bank. I would save it straight away. Save it as, give it a name. So we'll just call this show demo. Hit save, thank you, and there is our project. So as we keep going on, we can just hit save, open this up, hit save, and make sure we're saving this continuously so you don't lose any work or anything like that. I haven't, in the time I've been using this for over like 3 weeks or whatever, probably a bit longer than that, haven't experienced any crashes whatsoever. There you go. It is what it is. So here we are in our project. And as I said, you can pick how long you want your project to go. Do you want how many bars? We're just going to set it to 4 bars. So each time I hit record, it's going to record 4 bars worth of music, right? We're going to keep it at 4/4, 120. Keep it simple. We'll choose, I don't know, we'll do a C minor. Let's do minor. And again, I'm going to hit save and just make sure that's saved. We're all good. That's done. Now we can start looking at instruments. Yes, indeed, we can. So here are your tabs up the top. One of the main tabs you're going to be in is this top one here called Sound, because this is where you select your instruments. You've got clips, editing, your piano roll. You've got a song mode that you can turn on and off. You've got effects buses and a mixer. In our sound section, this is where we can build instruments. So I want you to pay attention over here to this top corner. Very important stuff here. This is where your parts are. If I click on this part and then move down here, you can see it changes corresponding part 4 to part 4 down here. So we can move through. If we turn our trigger on over here, the same thing, yeah? We're moving through. So there's multiple ways to get to your parts. It does, I don't think it does a save. I haven't seen it say anything like that, but every time I've opened up Russ, it's pretty much opened up where I left off. But I would always suggest that you do save. So I think we're all good. You know, I haven't had it crash, so I don't know. I don't know if there's anything like that. So we are in our parts here, yes? Part 1. Part 1. When you click on part 1, you are given more parameters. So this is where you can set what type of instrument you want this to be. You can see you've got choices of a melodic, a drum rack, or pure acid drums. Now, JimAudio makes a couple of other apps that can be used with this that are their own standalone apps, and one of them is Pure Acid, and the other one, of course, is, give me a sec here, is, of course, Poison 202. If you own these apps, you can use these in here. There's like a smaller version of them that loads up nice and easy, or you can just load them as AUV3s. Anyway, getting off track. Here is our part now, but here you can choose it to be a drum rack. You can choose it to be pure acid drums or a melodic track. Most of the time, you're just going to be able to choose melodic and you're good, yeah? We don't need to change that. It already is melodic. You can name it. So we could come in here and call it piano. Hit OK, and you'll notice down here, oops, I spelled piano wrong because I'm a dick. No. Okay, now you notice when I name this track, it's been named down here. Let me move myself. See that? So it's got a little name down here. It's got a name up here. It's got a default note. You can come in and change the default note of this. You can change the default velocity of this particular track. So there's a whole lot of customization you can come in here and do. It's also got an arpeggiator. So you can turn on your arpeggiator from here. You've got swing. You can change the color of your track. So you've got a little color palette here. So lots of customization. This is where, and each part you go through, you can come in here and change the color for this part, make this part that color, make this part that color. So now as I go through these parts, you'll see they correspond in their colors. Sweet. All right, we're on part 1 again. We'll come back to the arpeggiator. building we've got to build some sound now. So remember, we're going to backtrack again. Patterns are your songs. Parts are your instruments, is the like the pad, the section. And within the part, you can have 3 layers of sound. And this is a layer. So here we are in a layer and nothing's kind of selected in here. So what I'm going to do is you'll need to focus on this. To alter a layer, you need to hold down on it. Hold down using your mouse or with your finger and you get a bunch of options. You can copy the layer, you can save the layer as a preset, or you can delete the layer. I'm going to delete the layer. So here we are, part 1, and we've got nothing in here ready to go. So I'm going to hold down for the first time on this plus and we get all these options. These are the things you can add. Add a synth, because this thing has a built-in synthesizer that is no fucking slouch. It is a fucking incredible synthesizer. You can add a sampler, a wavetable. It has its own wavetable in here. You can add sound fonts. So sound fonts have been around for ages. The longest, they've been around for the longest time. You can download them from anywhere and you can add your own sound fonts. You can use pure acid bass. You can add poison. Now, if you don't own any of these, you get a stripped down demo of them to mess around with. You can add a drum rack. You can add a new pure acid drum rack. You can add your own AUV3 instruments and you can add AUV3 effects layers. So there's a hell of a lot going on. We're going to start with a synth. Let's just open up a synth and this is what happens. So once you've got your layer added, you've got 4 tabs across here: your oscillator, your filter, your envelope, and your LFO. When you click on either of these edit buttons across, you get more options within here to play with. These dials down here are pretty much, extensions of these. So here's our oscillator, our filter, envelope, and LFO. Focusing on the oscillator, we're going to move over here to our keyboard. So there you go. There's just your generic oscillator. It's only one oscillator at the moment, but there's 2. You can have 2 oscillators in here. You can tap on the box, saw, square, sine, triangle. You've got a super saw in here. Tap off. Already nuts. Already, what a wild sound. What a super saw. Savage. Bonfire, what's going on? Over here, you can tap this one and you've got not as many, but waveforms, be a nice selection. You've got a square. Let's add a square in there. But we have a mix here, so we're only hearing the super saw at the moment. If we add our mix here and bring this up, there we go. We'll add in a normal saw. Let's just add in a square. And we'll add in a super saw over here. So pretty wild stuff. You can create some wonderful sounds in here. We've got some settings here. So we've got some synth scales. You've got micro scale tuning. I mean, you've got your pitch, bend range, so much stuff. Polyphony. I mean, this thing is so deep, it is utterly ridiculous. Click off here. You also have a crap ton of presets. Look at them all. Heaps of them. And they're all not shit, right? Now, they're all pretty raw. We've got noise stuff in here. And all the way up, there's like, how many are there? There's like 282 presets. They're not messing about, right? Totally not messing about. Let's come in here and choose this square. There we go. All right, so you can come in here and mess about to your heart's content. We want to just, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come out here, delete this. Let's open a new one. Okay. All right, let's jump in over here. So you'll notice there's this little box here that says Super Saw. I can't touch it. I can't access it. I can't do anything with it. That is because it can only be accessed when you have a Super Saw selected, and you can have some detuning. And a mix. Awesome. Good stuff. You've got a pitch here. Now this pitch will affect whatever you... So deep, it is utterly ridiculous. We've got some modifiers here. So we've got like a sync. And any of these that you choose down the bottom, these can be edited down here. All right, so you can change the edit section. So we've got sync and oscillator mix. We've got an XFM, and these change appropriately. We've got a ring. We've got a boost. A pulse width phase. So you'll see they change for each one. This one's now a detune and pulse width. And a pulse width and sync. Right, so I could sit here forever and go on about this, but it is what it is. We're going to breeze through as much of this as we can. Give me a second. All right. So we've kind of briefly covered. So we're on this section here, yeah, the oscillator. You've got pitch controls up here. Over here, we've got pitch controls, so we can cover the pitch of the overall synth if we want. Hi, Joe. We've got glide controls over here. Wicked. Now, the other thing I want to point out here is, see these buttons here? We've got sync. We've got the sync over here and pulse width. So these are shortcuts to these buttons over here. See, when I change them, you see these change to these over here. These are customizable as well. You can MIDI learn them and you can change these things up. That is overall a brief summary of here. The filter is next. So here's our filter. We can come in here and drag. See this little plus over here? I can drag this around. Or we can turn the knobs over here to control our filter, resonance. We've got our envelope and key tracking over here as well. Low pass, band pass, high pass, peak, all this kind of stuff. You know how a filter works. We've got plus 12. We've got a soft clip down here that we can turn on. You know, everything that you would expect that is in a filter is in this. And it's a pretty mean fucking filter. Let's get some squirrely whirly. Right. Good stuff. Let's jump over to our envelope. Here is our envelope, so if you want to create pads or whatever, you can come in and change your pads, do all this kind of stuff. Move things about, your ADSR, yeah, so you've got your attack here, can control things over here, decay, sustain, release. To turn it on, you can, if this is selected, it's off. To turn it on, you've got release an amp, ADSR an amp. You can get in here and change the curvatures. You know, it's what you would expect from a really good envelope, yeah, so you can get in here and do all of this. There you go. Turn off that glide. Lastly, over here we have an LFO, and of course we have an LFO, and to use this you've got your depth over here, so you can control the depth of your LFO. You've got a whole bunch of, you know, triangle, saw, tooth, random, everything's in here what you would expect. You can quantize this thing, you can move these around and drag them out how much you want, invert, BPM, retrig, bipolar, all the usual stuff you would expect. To activate them, though, you will choose down the bottom where you're going to send them. Let's send it to pitch or the filter. All right, and you can send this to all of these places here. Panning, we can send it to panning, right? To your effects, to your edits. I mean, it's pretty bonkers. It really is just bonkers. Turn off this panning here, bring that back. So these are your main controls for your synth, right? So you got your oscillator, your filter, your envelope, and your LFO. But you can add effects to these as well too. So if you have a look over here, we've got insert effects, and there's heaps. We can add a delay to this. Bang. You've got 3 of these slots. Let's come in here and add a chorus. You can change these out at any time by tapping on the little option here. So you've got an exciter, X-band, a flanger chorus, a whole bunch of delays. And I hear you say, where's the reverbs? We'll get to those. If you don't want an effect anymore, click on the little blank spot and this will get rid of them, clean them out. But you've got 3 spots down there. And don't forget too, over here earlier when I hit this little down arrow, we've got these little live pads. Just so you see, with my hands here, we've got a DJ filter. We've got a slicer. And you can change these out too by tapping the little button here. So you've got pitch looper, vinyl. We can change this out to a vinyl. Let's change this one out here. You got slices. There's a reverb in here. And if you tap this little arrow again, you get a full size. So if you're mixing live, tap the arrow a third time and they disappear and you don't need to worry about them. Let's just make sure that's good. So there's your insert effects. You can add insert effects over here as well. Plus you've got an equalizer. So you've got a high, mid and low. This is attached to each layer. Remember, we're only on our first layer here. We're only making our first keyboard sound. And this is just the onboard synth. So what I'm going to probably do here is, where are we? I'm probably going to change my other show that I have and put it back half an hour just because there's so much to get through. It's ridiculous. If you guys are going to be okay to hang out for the whole time. So we are, with the equalizer, I can tap here and we get a full view of the equalizer. So I can come in here and do a full cut if I want, add some highs up here, and then, you know, you've got the whole thing. You can come in and do all this, hit edit, and it's done. We're off and all good. Output mixer on the end here. So you've got your level, you've got your panning for the overall mix or whatever, and you've got send effects. Let's talk about these send effects now. So where are these send effects? Hello, Jerry Gomes. Send effects can be found here. So we've got sound, clips, edit, song, buses. Here are our send effects. So up the top here, and in here, you've got a fuck ton of stuff. Look at all this. You can add an AUV3 effect if you want. So if out of all your AUV3s, you can add them. Delay, delay free, tap delay, reverb, room reverb, hall reverb, church verb, shimmer. We've even got a shimmer in here. So, and you've got two of these return effects blocks here. So you've got 3 effects for each return. Now, if we come back over here and turn up this send effect, listen to that fucking shimmer. It's gorgeous. So here's, we've got a shimmer effect in here. What else do we have? Chorus, flanger, equalizer, low pass filters, torque filter. We've got a torque filter in here. Phases, analog drives, overdrive, distortion. Good God, ducking. Look at it all. Compressors. It is just nuts. I'll probably do it in about 10 minutes, Ali, I think. So much stuff here. Yeah, or you can just say, you know what? I've got my own AUV3s that I want to click. And, oops, we'll try that again. AUV3. And look, there they all are. Here's all your AUV3s that you've been collecting. We want this AB chorus. You select it, tap it twice, and you can open this up. There you go. It's great. They even have all of the way it should look, the AUV3. Let's change it to another AUV3 effect. We'll click on this. Scroll down, we'll find something else. I don't know, like a Bleach slow machine. Tap it once, tap it twice. There it is. And there it is. Pretty damn cool, huh? So as I said, you've got 2 of these, a return A, return B. You can access them over here. Give them as much as you want in the mix. Awesome. Let's talk about, while we're here, before we move on and create another instrument and go through another instrument, let's talk about this section here in the middle. So you'll see this is your visualizer, and down the bottom you have all these options. You can turn all these off if you want. So now I've got nothing. Oops. So nothing in the middle now. But you can turn these visualizers on. You've got a spectrum. So that gives you your spectrum. You've got a part meter. Let me explain this. So the more parts you add, they will show up here. So you can see this is part 1. And every time it plays, it gives you like a quick level. You have an oscillogram, or you can change out the oscillogram for a stereo image. Really neat stuff. G'day, Ed B. I hope you're doing okay. All right, so we've kind of covered as, you know, briefly and as possible. Let's remove this layer, get rid of it, and let's look at our next one. So hold down, we can add a sampler. We've got a sampler in here. We can load a sample. Do I have any samples in here? Load it. Let's load a sample from files. Do I have any? So you can open up, find a sample if you want. We'll see if I've got any ghost hack samples in here. Let's see, what do we got? Ghost app, ambient beds, melodic. Blah, 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 blah. Is there anything in here? We'll go with dry. I don't know what these are. Should we just pick one? I think we should. All right. So once you've imported it, it will be up here for you to click. And you can load a sample. Once you've loaded it, guess what? You can go in and edit. So we can come in here and trim this out how we want it to be and hit trim. You can fade out, reverse it. It's bonkers. Trim it, hit save. There's a little save button here. Close this, and now you can warp, you can add slices to this. There's so much you can do. It is totally fucking ridiculous. From here, we can reverse it. So you don't have to go in. You've got a reverse button. You can change the length from here as well too. You can go in and change the length. You can add a decimator. You can boost it if you want without having to, like, you know, save it or anything. Give it some more volume if the sample's low. And you have all these options that you had before, like your filter, your envelope, your LFO. Rad stuff. Really, really cool. You got some options, the same options with like your micro scale tuning and all that kind of stuff. We've still got that send on. We'll turn that down. So there's your sampler. We'll come back to it because there's more stuff you can do with the sampler, but let's remove this layer as well. Let's check out what's next. We've got wavetable. Oh, before we move on from the sampler, let's come over. I might want to just, there are some built-in samples. So let's talk about the little browse option up the top here. When you click on browse, this will save anything that you've imported. So we've got a user and a bank. This is my user bank. So you notice if I click samples now, that sample I just imported is now able for me to access. And anything you import, like a wavetable, will appear here. Sound fonts, you can see I've got some sound fonts in here that I've already imported, like layer presets. We'll talk about all this. But there's also some stuff built in. So look at all these samples. You've got a whole bunch of samples in here. ROM samples, snares, kicks, percussion, stabs, vocals. Let's click on a vocal. You can sample them.
Come on, y'all!
Come on!
And if you want to use this as a sample, you select it and then hit load to part. And guess what? That is your new sample.
Come on! Come on!
Come on! Come on!
Come on!
Come on!
So there are a bunch of samples already in for here for you to load.
Get up!
Load. Let's go back here. Go back again. We've got miscellaneous stuff. Double tap. So you got like a Moog in here, funky guitar. And of course you can edit these, do whatever the fuck you want. It's completely up to you. Let's move to wavetables. So you'll notice there what I did. Let's clear this layer. I didn't have a layer set. If you're loading something from the browse section, you just need to go over here, load it. I want a wavetable. I'm going to select it, load it, and guess what? When you come out here, that layer has been loaded. So this is our wavetable section. Wavetables next. And there's a whole bunch of wavetables you can load in. It's up to you. You can load in your own wavetables. You can use the ones that are here. You can move these around. Warp them to your heart's content. Change the pitch. Wicked. So you can come and do all this stuff with wavetables. You can load another one in if you didn't like that one. You can. Let's load this one, harmonized. There you go. It's loaded in now. Let's add some send effects. Wicked. G'day, Paul. Hope you're doing well. All right, wavetables. Let's delete this and go into our next one because you can also load sound fonts. And you'll get, there is a sound font pack in there. I think it's this one, this ROM sound bank. Now, sound fonts, I've done shows of sound fonts before. You can find them for free all over the internet. Some of them are single files. Some of them are packs like this one here, this sound bank. You click it and look, you've got all these different sounds. Pianos, music boxes, percussion. So any kind of sound fonts that you download. It's wicked stuff. And you'll see here, this is your sound font page. Oops, let's choose those strings. Give me a second. Where do I find those? Fretless bass. Let's go to the fretless bass. In fact, we'll choose another one. I want to choose these strings. Hit the tick. Sound font samples or synthesis. Oh man, I don't have an entire, I wish I could go through sound fonts. Sound fonts are basically the principle of MIDI, yeah? So when MIDI first started, the sound fonts were a thing, yeah? So you could download these whole packs of sound fonts. They come in cartridges kind of thing. These are the original sound fonts back from, they've been around forever. They're free. Anyway, I've done shows on it, Ed. You'll have to go and have a look. There's so many websites. If you go in and type free sound fonts, you can find so many thousands and thousands and thousands of free sound fonts. It is just ridiculous. You can load up heaps of sound fonts. They take up very little memory. Not all of them sound good. Some of them sound great. A lot of them sound shit because, they're old school MIDI. Now, the one thing I just want to show you, I'm not going to go into too much depth with all of this, but you'll notice when I hit a different note here, see how this is changing? The wave file is, that's because these are individual sounds, yeah? But what you can do with this is super cool. Let's take this note here, this C. If I hit cut, this will convert the sound font into a sample. So you can actually come in here and convert these to samples if you want. And then save them as a sample and then go in and edit them and do all this kind of stuff. That is just, It's worth the price in itself, if you ask me, to be able to go and take that, and it's just wicked stuff. Let's undo with that and take it back to what it was. Remember, you've got undo, redo up the top here, so if you do anything stupid, guess what? You can fix it. I'm going to show you how to load a sound font. Let's load a bank, and you see here it says load import sound font from files. And then double tap, come over here to my sound fonts. I'm going to go to my iCloud drive, and I'm just going to do a search for .sf2, because these are called .sf2 files. What the fuck are you doing, man? Did it search? Whoa! I guess you can't search. SF2. Here we go. So here's some sound fonts. So we've got an R choir. I think these are a banjo. So these are a bunch of sound fonts I already have. So let's just grab this like clarinet. It's loaded the sound font in. And now when I click load bank, I can click this SF2 clarinet, load it in. And you know, there's a whole lot of sound fonts you can get. If we load this again, I think I've got like here we go, Sega Master System. Are these ones going to work? I don't know if they're going to work. Super Famicom. We'll give them a try. See if they load. Yep. So now if we go load bank and go to Famicom, these are all the sound effects from the Super Nintendo. Right, so if we get out of here again, I'll load another one in here. Let's try that again. I think we've got a Sega Master System one here, or General Game font, Donkey Kong Country font. Why not? Sound font. So these would be the sounds from Donkey Kong Country, yeah? So if I load this up, Donkey Kong Country, check. Here are all the... So sound fonts, easy to load, easy to find. They're free. You can find hundreds and thousands of them. Here's another one which I loaded in myself. This is called Essential Keys. And you can see when I load this up, look at all the sounds in here. You got like a Yamaha grand piano, Rhodes. Look at, I mean, some of them have multi sounds and some are just violins. And remember, once you load these in, right, you can come in here and change the filters, the envelopes, and all that kind of stuff. Got ADSR. Complete power to do whatever you want, yeah? We're at our halfway point, so just give me a sec, folks. I'm going to go in and rearrange my next show. Because we've still got a fair bit to go with this. Where are we? Nembrini. Because if you didn't know, Thomas isn't on today. So I've added an extra show in here. Just going to change this to... change that to 10. 10:10 for me. Cool. That's done. Where was I? Where was I? Sound fonts, they're fucking awesome. So we're not even halfway through. Now, if I delete this layer, what else can we add? Pure acid bass. So again, we load up this. This is on-built pure acid. So you can, you've got all your sounds in here that you'd like to select from. You've got distortion. So this is built in. Now, if you don't, the selection of stuff in here isn't, exactly what you would get from the full version, but you can just load the full version in if you want. We can change the pitch from here. Again, I'm not going to go too deep into all of this stuff, but you can load in this pure acid patch yourself. There are actual presets in here as well too. Okay, so next, if you've got Poison installed as well, you can load up JimAudio's Poison. And you can get to your presets from here as well too. So all these presets. It's pretty fucking rad, yeah? Look at all these presets. These are all just... So you can add that in. Let's clear out again. Delete this layer. Hold down. New drum rack. We're going to cover that soon. You've got pure acid drums. If I click on this... you'll notice we get this part change here. Now, in the beginning, I told you can go from melodic or drums. This will change the part into drums. So now we have... pure acid drums. Ready for you to go start playing with. It's pretty damn cool how you can just load these in. We are moving along here, but you'll notice what it's done here is it's created this whole new part. So I'm going to go in here and we're just going to clear the part. And that is the way you clear that. So it's a little bit different than clearing how we did earlier. Sorry, just got a message. All right, let's cover these. AUV3s. Yes, you can load your own AUV3s. Any instrument, yeah, anything. Here's all your AUV3s. Swarm trumpet. Want to load Swarm trumpet? Boom. You've got Swarm trumpet. Wild stuff. You want to get rid of that? Kill it, delete later. Layer, come over here, AUV3, whatever you want, AUV3. Scroll down, all your AV3s are in here. Everything should be at your command, ready to go. Frames, look, everything's in here. Even, you can use your Korg stuff, the whole lot. It's all in here. Spelldozer, tap it again. Do you want to get to it? Tap here. See, what happens is you get this little mini thing up here with some things like room mix space. Tap on the icon and there's your AUV3. But here's where it gets fun. Before we get into MIDI effects, let's talk about this. You want to close out of this. You've got a little X. As I said in the beginning, each part can have 3 layers. We've only got one. We've only been working in one layer. You can see there's a plus up here. Let's add something else. Let's add in, I don't know. Let's add in a sound font. Click a sound font, load a bank. We'll go up here to our essential keys. Hit yes, and let's load in here. What else can we load in to go with this? Maybe a Spanish guitar. Hit the tick. We now have Spelldozer and this Spanish guitar in here. What the actual fuck? Now you've got a mix button here that will allow you to mix the two in. So just watch here. Let's go into this guitar as well and we'll change the envelope. Where are we? ADSR. But as I said, we've got 3. So we can come in here and hold down a third one. Let's add a wavetable. Why not? And so we're selected on this. We'll go to Browse. We'll find a wavetable. This organ maybe. And we'll load this in. Close this. We can change the pitch of the wavetable. And remember, we've got effects we can add. So let's throw a delay or a tape delay on this wavetable. Maybe a chorus as well over here. Bring the level down. Add that shimmer back that we've got here on this send. Pretty fucking rad, yeah? So you've made a sound. You like it, you want to save it. Let's talk about that. So you can come in here and save these as well. You can choose an individual layer and then save that if you would like. So you can come over here and you can save your layers. You can save your parts. So if I just want to save this wavetable I've made, you would select it, hold down, and it says Save Layer Preset. You get to name it. So this is like Jade's wavetable. And it will just save the wavetable. It won't save any of the effects or anything like that. So none of the effects, it'll just save that wavetable. And if I want to load that wavetable, I can load it up whenever I want. I'll show you once we do this. But I can also save this entire part with all 3 layers and the effects that I've added and the send and everything by coming over to our part, holding down and hit Save Part Preset. And we'll call this spell part. All right, save. And now that has saved our entire fucking instrument. I can load this up at any time. Let me prove this to you. Let's remove these. Delete layer. Delete layer. Or I could have just cleared the part completely. Okay, let's load the part. I can load a part at any time. Where are we? Where's our parts? I can't even remember where we load our parts from. In here. So we go to our browse section. And you'll see in user, we have layered presets and part presets. So if I just want this spell part, there it is. Load it. And, oops, that's the whole part, yeah? So there it is. We've loaded our whole part that I just saved. All of the effects, they're all there, everything. I'm going to go to our part here and clear this part. Yes, please. Now, if I just want to load the layer that I saved, we can come into Layer Presets, Jade's Wavetable, load, and there is the wavetable. Pretty rad, huh? Pretty wild stuff. All right. Let's talk about, man, there's so much more to get through, but I think we're going to be able to do it within the next 45 minutes. So you'll be able to at least walk away with a good understanding. Just remember, there is no manual yet. Let's clear this part. All right. MIDI effects. If you are going to want to use MIDI effects, you need to put them as your first layer, right? Just remember that. It has to be first. You can load all of your favorite things. You can even load loopy in here. Piano motifs, neon, anything you want. Play beat, riffer, all this stuff. Scalar, all the bud apps, fucking all of 4-pocket stuffs, EG nodes, everything. Let's load Scalar. So here's Scalar. You tap on it. You've got your full Scalar interface. Rad stuff. Then you are going to have to add an instrument after this. So let's just come in here and add. We'll do an AUV3. Let's find like just a piano. Make things easy. We'll use our all the apps here are under the name of the company. So we are looking for M for, of course, Modart for Piano Tech. Tap. So now we have up the top here a layer of Scalar and a Piano Tech. Let's open up Scalar and let's create some, we'll create a set of scales. So just this 70s funk and soul. Now when I tap, it's as easy as that. That is rad. Let's start dragging some chords in. We'll just keep 4 in there. And so there's our part. Now things are going to get exciting because we're going to start moving away from these instruments and move into clips, editing, and song mode. And our mixer is pretty straightforward. We're not going to really need to go too crazy on the mixer. All right, here we go. So if we hit play, there's our 4 chords. Now, when I open up Scalar, I've already set Scalar to run to DAW, but you'll want to do this. Go in here and make sure it's sunk to DAW. Choose how many beats. Remember, I chose at the start of this project to have 4 bars. So we got 4 beats running alongside this. How do we start recording things in? How do we do it? Well, this is really cool. So let's close this out. And we're going to start off in our clips over here. This is our clip page. Now, you can use clips to make songs, or you can use song mode. Most of the time, you'll need to use clips to send over to song mode. Especially, I found it for using like a MIDI effect. To create a clip, everything aligns with parts, okay? So we have part 1, part 2, and you can see this moves along each of the parts. Remember, 16 parts. You can have 16 clips. So 16 by 16, that is your grid here. When you change a part, this moves along to that particular part. To add a clip, double tap. There is our clip. This is ready to record into. What are you talking about? Do a show? I did a show on band. What are you talking about, Jim? I absolutely did a show. It was a massive one. All right, so these are our clips. Now I want to record into, you can tap on these and go into the piano roll. So you can just draw stuff in if you want. You can come in here and draw to your heart's content. We'll cover that. But we are first looking at recording in this scalar. So if I just try and hit record, let's see what happens. So I'm going to hit record and hit play. Does it record? Nothing's happening. Hey, Rebel, thank you. So it doesn't record. Nothing's recording in. Because it works a little bit different than most things. If you want to record in your MIDI, your AUV3 MIDI, hold down on this clip and see this? It says print MIDI here. Click it. Can you see that? Printing in. Awesome. Now, I don't know why this is happening again. Normally what will happen is you will get a little pop-up at the end of this saying, this is finished recording, Do you want to go to the edit screen? I don't know why mine doesn't do it sometimes and it does other times. Maybe it's a bug because it should do it. Now that is recorded in here. Now I can click on this and a little play button appears here. And once that little play button is on there, I can go in and edit this. So there's those chords. They've all been recorded in here. Now what's supposed to happen, but it didn't, is once it records in, it turns this thing off. All right, back over here in our sound. I don't know why it's doing it. It's got to be some kind of fucking bug because it was working earlier. So now, there's our chords. So we can go in here and we can edit these to how we want. We can add notes. So once we're in our piano roll here, you can add notes. You've got a select, so you can come in here, grab on and select notes and move them around. Move them places if you want, move them all this way, move them all up. So to move things, you just hold down on the little section and drag your finger. I'll show you here. You can drag stuff around like so. You can make things smaller if you want, or make them full length. You can change the velocity of everything that's selected. You can move all the notes up. You can undo and bring everything back to where it was. And you can even change the chance of this stuff, which is pretty wild. So all these notes will have this is probably something you have to go into. There's just so much. It is utterly ridiculous how much you can do. You can hit the little draw and draw notes in. So I can draw a note, but if you tap it again, it's going to disappear. Right? Tap it, disappear. You can draw paint notes in like this, crazy notes. You can decide how you draw those in by like so. It is just wild. Let's come back to 16ths. If you want to delete a whole group of stuff, you can choose snap notes. You've got dots, triplets, bars. It is absolutely wild. You want to delete stuff, hold the delete button down, do a draw across all of these, let go, and they will disappear, right? I'm just going to bring this back here. And in fact, we're going to undo all of this because I've gone and removed all my cool stuff that I did. So here's our... So it's super... Yeah, we're definitely not going to get through all of this today. We'll probably have to do another show on this next week. I reckon maybe around this time we'll do another show on this next week. There's that. All right, now that we've got a clip in here, you can play clips like you would play a normal, like in Logic or GarageBand. You can just hit play. Or you can click, sorry, let's get back out of here. Let's make another part, right? So let's do another part. Oh yeah, there's ghost notes as well in here too. Yeah, so you can got ghost notes in here. You can actually like drag over some of these notes and they'll disappear out of the piano roll. They're still there, but when you play back, which is really good for just sampling things that if you don't know if it sounds right, you can just remove them from the mix. You can bring them back. So really, really cool. That is this symbol here. So these are your select, pencil, brush, delete, and your ghost note section. You got copy, paste, duplicate, loop, split. There's so much to cover. It really is an amazing app. Let's come back to our clips. I'm going to quickly show you how to, from here, move a clip into a song mode. I think that'll cover a fair bit of time. So these are clips. This is song mode. Clips, song mode. So you can use this as pretty much like a DAW, right? Song mode is off. If I turn song mode on, Let's keep it off for a minute. Now, when I hold down on this clip, all I get is edit clip, copy clip, or delete clip. So those are my only options I have here. But when I turn on song mode and then come back to my clips and click on it, hold down, I get add to song. And if I do that, come back over to song mode, it's added the clip into my DAW now. So we have this whole new thing in here ready to go if you prefer working in a DAW environment. Nice. Simple. Now you can do things like this. If we click on this, you can drag and loop. Super easy. Or you can come over here, select on this, and you can duplicate and just keep hitting duplicate and make duplicates of this. You can duplicate range, you can consolidate. So maybe I make 4 of these and I want to consolidate the whole lot. So I can come over now and select all of these. Let's select all 4 of them. And I can come over here and hit consolidate and it'll turn them into one big file. Again, you've got your delete and your notes. You can edit these as well too. So now if we come in here, maybe it's going to let me, you can see you can edit all this from in here as well. So from song mode, you can click on files and come into your piano roll and edit this stuff, all the same features that are in that you could do in clips. But once song mode is on, song mode takes over, right? So whenever you hit play, it's song mode. These clips have nothing to do with it, yeah? Where are we? 9:28. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We're good. So I can kind of slow down and chill a little bit more. Let's start adding some parts here. So I'm going to turn off. These are just things. This is how I use it at the moment. I'm going to turn off song mode. So now it's off and I can come back over to my clips. Let's create a new instrument. So I want to use scalar again because we've got these codes. We've already got these chords put in here. So what I want to do is come over to my parts, part 1, hold down, and I want to copy part. And now I can move to part 2, hold down on the part and hit paste part. And now what we've done is we've copied scalar from part 1 to part 2. And now I can come in here to this instrument, I can remove this piano, and I can put in whatever I want, right? So I can come in and let's choose like a spelldozer or something. Where are we, spelldozer? I saw you earlier because I used you. Did I already pass it? I probably did. There we are, spelldozer. Tap. And now I can come in here to scalar, hit perform, and choose maybe an arpeggio, yeah? Let's do like an arpeggio, we'll do like a converge. We'll hit voice locking. And come out of here. Now, what I said before, right, was with these, let's just skip between these two parts. So when you've got scalar or you've got anything like a Bud app or anything that's a MIDI effects, for it to play, you need to have it on. You need to actually have it turned on or it won't make any sound. So let's go to part 2 because we want to hear this. And now we've got part 2 in here. And now if I hit play, we're going through that part, these notes here. So I can now record this clip in to go with the piano. Let's do that. Let's come over here. It's already moved it for me. I'm going to hold down. We're going to print MIDI here. It's going to play in the 4 bars for me. And it's done. Head back over here because it's not turning it off for me. And here's our clips. Let's play them together. Now let's pop over to our mixer. We can control the volume of each of these. We can control the panning, the effect sends. We've got an EQ, high, mid, low for each track. We've got our overall track over here. Let's bring that piano down. It really is a beautiful interface. It's so nice. Okay, so you know what I want to do now? I want to import this over to our song. I'm going to come over to song mode, turn it on. I'm going to set my marker right about there. Part 2 selected, come over to clips. I'm going to hold down on this and add to song. Come back over to song mode and look, it's automatically put that in here. And now I can select this. Oops. And I can do a quick, oops, we don't have select. Come over here, select there. I can select and drag this out. And now we play our song through. Oops, I didn't want to put it there. And just as easily too, I can click and move these around super easy, yeah? So there we go. Let's move those around. We're good. Let's start this from the beginning. I agree. The GUI is so neat. It reminds me of GarageBand in some ways. It's very toy-like, but not childish. Does that make sense? Everything's big, everything's clear. Okay, so we've got 2 parts in there. Let's add another part. Let's come back over here to our sound. We want a new layer, so we're going to move to part 3. Let's do some drums. What I'm going to do is hit browse, because guess what? You have a whole bunch of drums in here. These are called drum rack presets, and you can pick any of these. You got your 909, 808, 606, synth drums. Let's just choose the 808, load the part in, and we have drums that I can play on my keyboard. And we can just come over here. I'm going to turn off song mode from here. Or I don't think I need to. Can I come in here? Let's see. I don't know if I can. And hit record and see if I can play some parts in from here. I'm pretty sure you can. There's no manual, folks. Let's go. So how easy was that? How easy was that? Damn easy. Recorded straight in. So what I'm going to do, we went a little bit over there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set this marker here and show you how to use this delete. So this little eraser. If you set your marker and then click on it, it splits it for you. Bang, done. So now I can click on this and I can remove that little part there. And there is our drum. So now I can stretch this out. There's our drum. But did you notice what happened? It didn't stretch. I'll tell you why that is. It's because I trimmed it. If you trim something, you won't be able to loop it any longer. So we have to bring this back. And what I suggest doing is consolidating, and then I think that's, we can do it then. No, it doesn't work then either. So we're going to have to go in and then just do some duplicates like so. And then what I would do is come in, duplicate that, select them all, and I'm going to consolidate them like so. Boom. Okay, let's edit this from here because I want to add some hi-hats in. So we'll go to edit, come in. Everything is neatly tapped out for you. I grab my pencil. We can change the, so we can make this smaller. Yeah. We can do snap. We can draw in our notes. Let's put in some hats here. Oops, I'm going crazy. We'll just put in all these hats. I can paint these in. You can do this, a multitude of ways. Oops, don't do that. Now I can come in here. Let's just draw these in like so. Oops. And then I can copy the rest and I'm doing this the very long way. Now I can select all these if I want. Yeah, come over here, select. Copy, then come over here and paste them in. Boom. And can keep going like that as I want to get all these hi-hats in to save a bit of time, or I can paint them in. We can just hit paste again. Douche, 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 douche. As you want. Give me a sec. I would love keyboard commands. Keyboard commands for my Magic Keyboard would be fucking amazing. I wish. I'm so used to doing Command V. Can we get some of those, please? That would be so good. Oh man, it'd be awesome. Let's just draw the rest of these ones in here. Oops. Okay, back to our song. Okay, let's come back over here to our sounds and get over here to our kits. So you can, I saw a question here from Teddy in relation to can you hear it on the drum rack? Can you add effects? Yes, absolutely. As you can see, we can skip through these, your hat, C hat, F hat, and you can come in and you can add insert effects for the clap. You can come in, I'm pretty sure, or is it just individual? Or maybe you can't. It's hard because we don't have a fucking manual. It looks like you can't. Or maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. No, I don't think there is. It could be something there. Yes, a manual would be fucking great, wouldn't it? You need a fucking manual. Because there's so much I'm missing out, guys. It's crazy. It really is crazy. Give us a manual. So you've got so many, and you'll notice here too. Now, if I swap out of song mode, this is going to be a little bit, I turn off song mode and come over here. I didn't add drums in via a clip, right? So we don't have a clip here. So there's two ways you can add stuff in. You can either record it direct in on song mode, but what I like to do is add it in as a clip, right? One IFX reverb per drum part. But it's not clear. Yeah, it's. I know. This is the thing. We're all flying blind. I prefer to record stuff in clips and then send them over to song mode. Once you turn on, I prefer to do it that way. I didn't do it this time, but you can go back and do this. We can come over here now. Let's go over here to our drums. So we're on our part 3 at the moment. And I can play these drums in. Where are we? Part 3? Maybe. Keys. Here we go. Come over here to part 3. Right. So let's do this. Let's record this in to a clip. I'm going to hold down, add a new clip. Going to play it live in. It's not going to be exactly the same, but you know, you get what I'm doing. So all I need to do is hit play, hit record, and play. It'll give me a 4 lead in. Done. Easy, right? And then we can go in here anyway, and we can manipulate these and add our own things. We can oops, get out there. We can delete things. We can change things up if we want. And something else I was going to cover as well, and I forgot. We've got automation and stuff. Shall we do some automation? Shall we do a little bit on automation because it's a little bit I was going to do quantization. So let's quantize this stuff. So we've got quantization up here. You can choose whatever you want, 8/, 16ths, quarters, all your usual stuff. Hit quantize and it shall quantize. Let's go 8ths, quantize, and it'll move everything around for you, yeah? Let's just hit play here. G'day, Chad. Quantize, 16ths. Now, what's really cool is you can actually quantize the ends of this. So you can set the ends and quantize, and they will fill out the rest of the bar, the rest of the section. It's fucking wild. It's so good. I love that so much. So you just need to turn on ends. Now I can come in here and draw in my hats if I want. Let's stop this so I can come in here and do some closed hats, add a pencil. And let's just put in some random stuff, hit play. That's pretty stupid. Let's stop. Or I can come in and delete all this, right? So I can come in and delete all of this. It's gone. And we can just paint the whole lot. Whoa, let's undo that. We can set this to, say, quarter. Give me a second. We'll zoom in and delete that. Let's zoom out. And I can come in and paint all these hats in like so. Oops. So much easier to paint this stuff in. And there's our clip. So of course you can copy clips. You can right click, you can copy a clip. You can come down here and paste a clip. So you can build your clips down the channel. You can do all that kind of stuff. We can take this one here, copy, edit clip, delete clip. We can come down here, paste a new clip in. As I said, multiple ways to create, either with song mode or with your clips mode. So I'm going to add some pads in here and we're going to talk about automation, and then we're going to wrap all this kind of up. Of course, folks, I'm definitely not going to get through all of this, but hopefully you'll see the price tag of $34.99 is pretty fucking cheap for what this does. It's fucking nuts. As I said in the beginning too, you can actually load this as an inter-app audio into AUM, or you can you can even load fucking Drambo in here as well too. Loopy, I mean, AUV3s, you can just pump them in here. It's pretty damn rocking. Let's come over here and add another instrument. So we'll go to part 4. So what I'm going to do is go to part 1 here first. We're going to copy part 1, and we'll paste this into part 4 again, so we keep scalar. And we'll try and create like we'll delete this layer here. Let's load in, say, a synth. We'll do a synth from here. Let's throw in like an LFO. That will do for now, yeah? We'll throw on maybe a chorus. There we go. Doesn't really matter. We're just trying to create. So we've got these chords here. We're going to turn on. No, I wish. We are still waiting for it. We are still waiting. So yes, that is why I'm a little bit late with my video. But yeah, it shouldn't be too far away. But yeah, that's. I would rather have sat here for a couple of weeks and tried my best to understand myself. And it's not too hard, man. It's not too hard, you know. This stuff is only as hard as you allow your brain to be. I think when the manual comes out, it's going to be really good because we're going to find out heaps of little hidden things that are in there that we didn't realize, and that's going to be fun too. So I'm just going to turn off song mode again here. We'll come over to our clips. We've got a sound in here. Right, so let's record this in here. I'm going to hold down. We're going to print to MIDI. Ed says, after some experimentation, I'm able to send different pieces to IFX1 and IFX2 individually. I'm sure you can do it. I think obviously you're going to be able to do it. It's just sitting down and sorting that out. So here we've got this in here. Let's come over here and we're going to add this now to our song mode. Yeah, absolutely. It's already packed full of so much stuff. I haven't even opened up the fucking settings yet. So let's come in. We'll add this part in here. Go to our clips. Add to song. Come over to our song. There we go. It's in here. And we'll take this and drag this out a little bit more. We'll take this, drag this out a bit more. So now we have our song mode. Got to turn off this layer. I don't know why that's doing that. I still can't work that out. It was working earlier, but it is what it is. Song mode. Let's play our song. Hi, Costa, Teddy, Revant. Okay, so why have I done this? Let me show you what I want to do here. So in our song mode, I'm going to set our loop. Let's set our loop over here to here. And we're going to focus on this part 4. I want to show you some automation, yeah? So we'll come into our automation, click on here. We can automate things. So we can come in here to our instrument and we can automate on the fly. We can actually automate on the fly. So we can change the pitch. So, and I want to do that. No clip automation. So you've got to record in. I do believe that's what you've got to do. So we're going to song mode. Is that where we do it? I think so. From clip, do we have to record in? I think so. So now I just moved that a little bit there. Oh no, it's not. Why am I not able to do automations? What am I doing wrong? I've fucking forgotten how to do automations. Fuck me, too much to fucking remember in one show. Oh, here we go. It's in here. So we've got our part automations here turned on. Yeah. So in song mode, I've recorded these automations, and you can see them by clicking here, right? So head over to song, and all I did was hit record and play on our instrument and just start moving the filter. That's all I did, right? Just move the filter around. Now when I come to song mode, you'll see this little A bit is lit up, and you now have a whole automation here. And when you open this up, you can see all of your automation, and you can come in here and fuck with this as much as you want. You can come in here and draw more stuff in here. So you can select your pencil, and we can draw more. We can delete this stuff. We can hit the little delete, drag over all this, and it's gone. We can do stuff like this, and we can draw in all of our automation stuff like so. And now when we play this back, let's put on our loop first. Set our loop. Where's our loop? Yeah? So the thing to pay attention to is this is the section we want to automate. So let's automate it. And trust me, you can automate anything you fucking want. So let's, again, come into this section here, our little section here, and we'll come back over to this instrument. I can do the depth of the chorus. The only thing you can't automate is the stuff that's in the middle, I do believe. But we can automate the LFO. Anything you turn during your recording, let's hit record and play. Watch. Let's change the depth. And stop. Now when we come back over to our song and hit automations, all that was just recorded in. Our depth chorus, our filter cutoff, and our oscillator. And then I can come in further and draw more crazy shit if I want. Like so. Let's go like this. La la la. Let's come back over here to the chorus depth and draw in a little bit more with this. So now when we play back all of this, hey, Mr. Smith, thank you. Good to see you. You want to delete automations? You can just come in here and delete all of them. Everything's gone. Settings. Let's just quickly go over some settings here. So we've got some general settings with like clip switching, auto color clips on and off, auto. So there's a whole lot of stuff in here that you can mess about with. We've got our audio stuff. So your buffer rate, sample rates, buffer size, play in background, background timer, audio input. I've just got my mini fuse, the bit rate, bit depth, Inter-app audio is allowed. You've got Ableton Link that you can sync up with. You've got MIDI stuff in here too. You want to connect your keyboard, MIDI, single mode, any channel, pretty standard stuff. And last but not least, let's talk about this before we've got 4 minutes to get out of here. You can share your current pattern. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it's not going to happen today. So you can share your current pattern. So remember, this is the pattern is your song. I can hit share. So I'm going to want to save this. See, you're going to want to save your pattern. We're going to hit save. So we've saved our pattern. This has saved everything that's in our pattern. I can come over here now to our export. I can share this. It will create a GR2 file, and then anybody can, let's show you how to do this. It will save it. I can save it wherever I want. Files app. Go to iCloud. Maybe, if it lets me. Hit save. And that has now saved the file, which I can send to anybody. And to actually import a file, all you got to do to import it is come over here. Where are we? Date. And just double click on it. Just double click on the file and that'll open it up in Groove Rider 2. That's all you have to do. You can also take this, share the current bank, right? So you can share the current bank, or you can render a song. Easy. 32-bit, 24-bit, 16-bit. Let's do it. Let's just render the whole song. Boosh. I've not done this before. Rendering song audio. And we can share this. We can save it in an export folder. We can share it, hit share, save it to audio share, and there is our track. As I said, folks, there's so much more to cover with this app. It's so deep, and it's just going to get deeper, I would say. You know, the thing is, Ed, I don't even have GR16, so there's that. I think what we'll probably do next week, we'll take another look at it and we'll just fart around. We'll try and make a song. We'll cover some of the, how about we do this next week? This time next week, we'll come back. We'll try and cover some of the things that we may have missed, and then we'll try and make something serious out of it and use it. Just get a bit deeper with it. Maybe we'll do it once a week, and so we get a lot more things going on. Yeah. And instead of, I know other people are doing shorter little bites and stuff, but again, that's because there's no manual, guys. Every one of us, we're all fucking flying blind completely. I love it. But who gives a shit? It's fucking wild. It's a really, really good app. It's worth $35. Think of me in Australia. It's about $60 in Australia, but totally worth it. Really, really cool stuff. That is our wonderful Groove Rider 2. It's killer. There's so much more. Next Wednesday, we'll be back here. We'll do another show, farting around with it. These long sessions, I'll put them all in a playlist so people can watch them all. I'll try and do some chapters for this as well too once it goes up. And all good. Stick around. In about 15 minutes time, I'm going to dump you over. We're going to do another quick live stream for about half an hour. And Loopy Forum is the manual. Absolutely. That's the community. We've become the manual. I love it. It's so cool. I'm going to make heaps of stuff with this. I think it's really cool. The only thing that, because I'm a musician, is I'd love to be able to record audio into it. I know I can record sample stuff, but man, if we had an audio track, oh God, it'd be so good. All right. So let's do this. Let's get out of here. I'll be back in 15 minutes. I'll dump you over because in 15 minutes time, we're just going to do a quick half an hour show, taking a look at this, taking a look at the Jazz Chorus Guitar Amp by Nembrini. An audio track would make this fucking my go-to every single fucking time. It would be killer. I would, blah. Yeah, the Nano Studio problem, it is here. But who knows, it could be on the roadmap. That would be rad. So yeah, join me in about 15 minutes. we're just going to take a brief look at this jazz chorus guitar amp. It's really, really cool. It's a JC. It's a, what is it based off? It's based off the Roland JC 120. It's a nice little amp from Nembrini. We'll do a quick 30-minute show because I've had to try and get out as many shows as possible because something big is dropping in about 24 hours. Oh, I shouldn't give away too much. All right, let's Oj. Thanks for hanging out. Hit the subscribe, do the like, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better. We'll all rise together, stay awake, and let's Oj. I'll see you in 15 minutes. Boom.